All right. Welcome, everyone, to another Jewel from our Jewels. We love these every Thursday morning. We're going into our third month now, I think, of doing these, and it's just such a blessing every morning to wake up and be with these awesome leaders in our company and get all the tidbits we can get from them like a sponge. We're just like soaking them all up. So today we have Erin Akey, and she's from Alabama. So we are going to all start talking with a little accent after we hear her, because I do that all the time. And I got to meet her. I've met her a couple times, but we sat together at our luau in Hawaii, which was awesome. And she's under Sarah Marbles, and her, I don't think, you'll have to tell us how that goes, but Sarah's parents are really good friends of ours, and so we were all sitting together at our table, and I got to take a picture of her with my camera, and she's just a really wonderful lady, and I'm so excited to have her on our call. So I'm going to just put it right over to her so she can have all the time she needs.
Thank you. And can you hear me now? Because a minute ago I froze up, so
Yeah.
I don't know if it's okay. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so cool to meet you in Maui, and that picture, I loved it. I did not know you were a photographer. And so my husband and I think that's the best unplanned picture ever. And it was our favorite one from the whole trip. So I really appreciate you guys inviting me to come talk with you today. The way my lineage goes, you have Sarah Marble, who is my diamond upline, and then her friend Casey Frawley, who is an emerald, and then I'm under Casey.
Okay.
So we have a really great team. There's just so much excitement going on right now within the company. There's just all this amazing growth, and I just feel really blessed to be a part of it. My journey, probably I would venture to say everyone that you talk to may tell you this. I was one of those people who really just needed the health benefits. I had broken my back and I was a runner, and I'd broken my back and put on about 45 pounds, and I'm a nutritionist, and I, didn't believe in things like this. I thought it was a diet pill, and I didn't get it. I didn't believe in the model of network marketing. I didn't understand it. And I was one that said, no way, literally for a year. Finally, I just got so desperate. I told my husband, when you go over to the hospital today, go to that nurse's office. The one that we speak at our support group sometimes. Go see her and give her a check and buy me a month's supply of this Plexus stuff. And I thought he was going to kill me. So long story short, within a week, he saw major changes in me, and he decided to try it also. So I went ahead, signed up wholesale because I'm cheap, wanted the discount. Didn't think anything about a business, had no intentions of having a business. I was right in the middle of an anti-obesity tour all over the country, had a radio show about healthy living. This was just not something for me. And very quickly, people started noticing that my husband was dropping weight, I was dropping weight, and they started asking what we were doing. And it was really easy to say, well, I have this website, let's go check it out. And then one thing led to another. And after about 19 months, I finally hit Emerald. And mine was not one of those overnight rise to the top kind of stories. There was a lot of personal growth in there. And for the first year, I think I was just kind of dabbling. I continued doing my other things, and I just, if you're interested, I'll tell you a little bit about it. I didn't post a lot. I didn't understand anything about leadership. I was I was a great manager. Back when I was in the corporate world, I managed a large corporation, and I was a really good manager, but I did not know the first thing about being a leader. And so what really turned things around for me, I got stuck at Ruby for a while because I didn't know how to be a leader. And all of a sudden I have this big team and I don't really know what I'm doing. And it was around that time that Sarah Marble really started pushing personal growth and development. And I thought, okay, I'll read a book or two. We'll see what happens. I don't know about all this leadership stuff. Totally changed my life. Literally changed my life. I realized so many things that I was doing wrong. I was a micromanager. I was totally focused on weight loss because my line of work, working with anti-obesity groups and things like that, I was all about lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, slim and accelerator, and that was all I knew. And so as I started expanding my knowledge of the products and the importance of gut health and that triplex and how the weight loss was just a minor thing compared to all these other things that were going on. You know, my husband lost 60 pounds. He's off blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds. For me, I was a person who had lost over 150 pounds with gastric bypass, gained back 40 something when I broke my back, lost 55 with plexus. And so I started realizing that these products could really help a lot of people with a lot of other issues. And I really became focused on the blood sugar issues. And I really became focused on people who were dealing with pain and things like that. And so I totally changed my train of thought and products. Then I decided to dive in and learn more about the business model because I had a very solid belief in the products. And I really think to be successful, you have to have a super solid belief in the products, in our...
Oops. Frozen. Yeah, she's frozen. Uh-oh. Just a minute. She'll be back, hopefully. See my baby, everyone? Yay!
Cindy, what rank is Erin?
He's an emerald.
And so, what's that?
You froze up for a little bit.
I'm sorry. Where was I when I froze up?
Right before this, what you were just saying.
Okay, so it wasn't a long time?
No.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know. We have some bad weather coming, so I don't know if that's messing up the internet connection. But I quickly became a student of the business part. And I realized that Plexus really could offer something special if I was willing to grow myself as a leader and learn how to be a leader. So that was one of the biggest things for me was I wasn't stuck at Ruby because of anything other than myself. I truly had to learn how to be a good leader. And that was hard for me because I'm a very hands-on person. I'm one of those people where I can just get it done quick. I could never be a teacher, I always said, because I would rather just do it myself. I know it's done right. So I had to learn how to do things like teach duplication and how to let go and how to empower other people. And that's when my business turned around for me. And so in November of 2014, I finally hit Senior Ruby and everything started changing. I started doing, a lot of prayer involved, a lot of reading, a lot of trial and error. And I actually went back to, I had people who'd been with me from day one who trusted me because they knew me prior to Plexus. And I had to go to them and say, okay, if you really want to do this with me, first I owe you an apology. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to be a leader. I'm ready to do this now. Let's do it together and let's really turn this into something. And that's when we started really taking off and just completely changing how we did things. I focused on really keeping my people engaged from the very beginning. I had to learn to be a lot better at follow-up. We would get so excited about recruiting, and then you would forget, oh, you know what? I signed those 3 people up 2 weeks ago. I need to check on them. Because the main reason people quit Plexus, I find, is because they think the products aren't working or something, they're not doing the regimen correctly. So if you follow up with them right away and within the first couple of weeks, then you can say, hey, how's it going? Do we need to tweak anything? And they, and if they tell you, well, I'm just not seeing results, well, the first thing I find out, are you being consistent? Because 9 times out of 10, they're either not being consistent and taking it faithfully every single day, the entire triplex, They make jokes about me at the Biloxi warehouse. They know if Erin's coming to pick up welcome packs, it's a triplex. There may be other added, but if it's from my team, it's a triplex.
Right.
You've got to have that base. I'm just very passionate about that.
Yes.
And so you'll find that they're not taking the products faithfully, or they've not even made an attempt to change their eating habits. So with me being a nutritionist, I really preach that, because sugar is addictive. It's toxic. It works against all the good work the products do. So if you're taking your triplex, but every single day you're eating things like oatmeal, which that turns to sugar. It's no different. You can eat a bowl of Cheerios or a bowl of sugar, same exact thing, right? Every 4 grams of carbs is a teaspoon of sugar. So I educate my team that you have to teach people to really cut back on the carbs and sugar, or they're not going to see the same results. So I'm very passionate about making sure we follow up and that they're being consistent and that they're trying to make eating habit changes. Not anything drastic right away, because you want it to be doable. And if you tell a person, okay, you're going on a sugar detox today, half the people would look at you and go, I don't think so.
No.
So small changes, cutting out sodas and fruit juice and sugared beverages. Then gradually step into, okay, let's now cut back on the bread and the pasta and the rice. Let's get more fruits and vegetables in your diet. Really good carbohydrates, things like that. So that's made a huge difference with our attrition, is following up and knowing that people are on the right regimen and that they're eating a little bit better. That's really been big, really big. Creating a team atmosphere. My team, they're all over the place. They're all over the country. We do a lot of online events and things like the Zoom trainings that you guys are doing, and it creates this bond. And when you've got a bonded team, they cheer each other on, they help each other out. Like, I have no fear right now. Tomorrow morning, I will check into the hospital for major surgery. I will be in the hospital for a week. But guess what? I have this team of leaders who are all so close-knit. They're all going to do different little things. My team page is going to keep going because you won't want to see me on there. And I'm not worried, because I have this sense of peace, because I know I have this team of people who have that same passion and they're bonded together. And, you know, Cindy, you were asking me about that silver and 7 challenge. If you can get a person to silver in 7 days, or if that's not doable, even in the first month, you are going to be so much more likely to keep that person. And I always tell people that is the quickest way to make your investment back. You know, you paid most of the time $133.95 to get started. If you go silver, if it's just the $99 welcome pack, you just made $175 with that silver bonus. And a lot of people don't understand that Plexus is so different. You can make a real life-changing income with this because they're not used to it. They've done other things or dabbled in other things where you spent a lot of money and really didn't make much. And so when they see that $175 coming to them in the first month, that's a big deal to a lot of people. And then you get them to go silver. I'm a huge believer in the power of 3. Really, you want to get to emerald? Go silver every month and make sure all your team members do. Now, is everyone going to go silver every month? No. But if that's the goal, it's so simple. If you just focus on that power of 3, and the way you make that happen is keeping them engaged, keeping them excited, bonding them together, doing these Zoom calls, then absolutely they're all going to start to move up. I feel like I'm just talking.
No, keep going. We love it.
But I mean, do you guys have questions for me? That's pretty much my philosophy. Just be close-knit. Our team page, you know, I've never had to monitor comments or, you know, people can post without me approving it. I've never had to monitor any of that on my team page. A really positive culture. We just create this vibe of positivity and closeness and excitement. And every time someone new comes in, they'll probably have 50 welcomes from different team members. And we just keep it super upbeat and try to go silver every month. And that's it. That's really what we do.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Maureen is asking, what do you cover on your Zoom trainings?
I have different topics. I try to do one on nutrition about once a month because I feel like that is key. The whole point of these products are as a tool to help us change our eating habits. If we're taking the Plexus and we're still eating candy bars, then what's the point? So I try to do at least one on nutrition every 2 months. Sometimes I will do one on, like when convention contest comes out, that was a topic. I will do one on, I just had a guest on my Zoom call this week was Kelly Norman. Oh my goodness. It was all about self-talk and belief but the way you speak to yourself, things like that. I will do them on leadership. I will do them on product knowledge. I love doing them on going silver, and how to start earning your products for free, how to start earning enough income to just pay for your products. I think if you tell people, okay, we're going to do a Zoom call, I'm going to tell you how to get to Emerald, and they just join, they're going to be like, whoa, can't even think about that. But if I say to someone, if you're interested in just earning a little bit of money to help pay for your products and maybe have your products be paid for, hop on the call and I think you might enjoy it. And so I go over, sometimes my calls will be about Facebook, how to properly use Facebook. Facebook is not the place to, if you have had an argument with your husband or your grandma or whatever, don't put that on Facebook. I do a lot of calls about, you want to make sure that you're projecting yourself in public in a way that people will be attracted to you and want to do business with you. Do we have perfect lives? No, but everything in your life doesn't have to end up on Facebook. So we talk a lot about social media etiquette, different. I just try to keep it different. And then it ends up cycling around where we recover the same topics probably every 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jessica is asking, when you say oatmeal turns to sugar, is that the rolled oats in the cylinder, or are you speaking of individual pre-made packages?
Well, the pre-made packages are way worse because there's so much added to it, but any kind of oats, anything, a lot of people don't realize, and a lot of times when I'm a guest on a call, it's about sugar because there's just so much we don't realize. Every 4 grams of carbohydrate converts to a teaspoon of sugar. So take, for example, this would be a whole nother call, but the food industry has all these different ways of just trying to suck us in. If you think about it, when they started taking fat out of things back in the 60s, they replaced that with sugar. Sugar's more addictive than heroin. So, you'd see the commercials where the perfect breakfast was cereal, toast, and juice. Hello, if you eat cereal, toast, and juice in the morning or oatmeal and juice, that's all pure sugar. And you're setting yourself up for blood sugar crashes. You're setting yourself up for more hunger. Any kind of oats, pasta, rice, grains, even quinoa. People don't realize, people think, oh, I'm being healthy, I'm eating quinoa, because they hear the buzz that the hype right now is, oh, do quinoa, it's better. Do whole wheat pasta, it's better. If you're trying to lose weight or you have inflammation and you're not an athlete or you're not a runner or working out, you don't need those kinds of carbs because they just turn to sugar, and what you don't burn off in exercise, it's going to be stored as fat. And glucose feeds every single cell in your body, good or bad. So the more sugar you eat, the more you're going to suffer with inflammation, with everything. So our ProBio 5, our Triplex, and our Carb Block are wonderful for helping people say no to the sugar and carbs. You need to start your day with a lot of protein and fiber. That's going to set your blood sugar up for a good day. If you have some eggs and some turkey bacon, or there's a lot of great low-carb breads out there. There's, so many things that you can do. Our P96 protein shake is great, because anytime you eat sugar and carbs, or anytime you eat carbs, you want it to have fiber and protein with it. That counteracts what it does on your bloodstream. And again, that would be like a whole nother hour-long call.
Yeah.
But yeah, any kind of carbohydrate, every 4 grams is a teaspoon of sugar. So a piece of whole wheat bread, it's about 21 grams of carbs. It's 5 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow.
What is it? 5 teaspoons?
That really is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's made a huge difference in the results of the people on my team and, you know, other teams that I talk to about sugar. It's a really big deal. People just don't understand that. They think if they're eating, well, think about corn. That's pure sugar. What is corn used for? To fatten animals for slaughter. Like, if you're eating corn, that's pure sugar. It's one of the worst ones out there.
Yeah.
You should get your carbs from fruits and vegetables and legumes and nuts and things like that. That's where you want to get your carbs, not from, now I'm not saying you're never again going to have sugar. You're never again going to have a piece of bread. You just want to watch. And if you notice, if you've got 50 pounds to lose and you're stalled out, look at your carb intake. If you have a client who comes to you and says, hey, Cindy, I don't know what's going on. I'm taking my triplex every day. I'm not losing. It's okay to ask somebody, well, let's look at like 3 days of your food log. And if you see on there bread, rice, pasta, oats, then you can tell them, hey, if you want to see some better results, let's cut back on this stuff. And if you struggle with cutting back on this stuff, let's add block, because block is amazing.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. So you said 1 piece of bread equals how many teaspoons?
Well, it depends on the bread, but 4 grams of carbs converts to 1 teaspoon of sugar. So if you eat, I'm just from memory, a typical piece of whole wheat bread, just sliced bread, is usually around 21 grams of carbs when you take the fiber out.
Okay.
And that ends up converting to about 5 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow.
People don't even know how to read the carb content because if you look at something, you have to subtract the dietary fiber.
Right.
Because the dietary fiber doesn't affect your bloodstream. It's not absorbed, it goes right through you. So if something says it has 20 grams of carbs, but there's 18 grams of fiber, then that's awesome. It's really only 2. So I have a YouTube video I can send you that kind of explains carbs and sugar. You're welcome to share it.
Yeah, would you mind adding it to our Jewel from the Jewels page?
I'd be happy to.
That'd be great. Because I'm just thinking about a sandwich. You have 2 pieces of bread on your sandwich. So that's
let me tell you, there's a brand out there, and it's high fiber, low carb bread. There's lavash bread, pita bread. It's amazing. And the brand is Joseph's. And if you can't find it, I get it in the deli bakery department at Walmart. But you can also order it online if they don't have it in your area. I have a little team in Oregon, and I know on the West Coast, I've had people say they have trouble finding it, and I know in a lot of your team in California.
Yeah, we are.
So you can go online to Joseph's Bakery. And it is the best stuff. We make wraps. We use it as a pizza crust. I mean, like, I love chips and salsa, right? Chips are terrible. Salsa is great for you. So I'll bake this lavash bread for about 4 minutes in the oven and break it up into chips. There's my chips and salsa.
Oh, love it.
It's awesome. It is really good stuff. We use it as a pizza base. We do all kinds of stuff with it. It's really funny because around here, the stores will be out of it the minute they get it back in, because I've got about 100 team members in Mobile. And so all the Walmarts in Mobile are like, dang, we got to order more of that lavash bread because it's so good. It is the best stuff ever.
Lavash bread. Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Erin? You can type them in there. Oh, what is the first thing you do when you sign up an ambassador? From Sid.
The first thing that I do is I get on a phone call with them and I tell them, let's chat the day your products come in. I'd rather go over their regimen when the products are in front of them. Mm-hmm. So the day their products come in, they call me and we go over their regimen and I find out their health goals. There's a very big difference in how I'm going to talk to someone who has 10 pounds to lose versus 40, or who's struggling with diabetes, or, so I find out their health goals, get their regimen going, and then we set up a time to talk again in a couple of weeks. If I know that there's a possibility that they could want the business, then we'll talk about that. If there's been no mention of the business, then what I'll say to them is, look, if you love these products and you want me to help you, show you how easy it is to have them paid for every month, let me know. Don't want to push you, but by you being a wholesale ambassador, that option's out there. Mm-hmm. And so we talk about that. With a customer, I would say the same thing to them, but I would say, look, if you love these products, before it's time for your auto ship to come out next month, we can upgrade you to wholesale. You'll get the products cheaper. You can earn rebates back on your purchases over $100. And if you decide to at some point, I can help you get them paid for. Mm-hmm. And so I try to keep it very much, I don't use business lingo because that scares people off. So I try to just really get them going on a good health regimen. And I also tell them, I say, the minute you start feeling things, write it down. If you find you don't want that soda, write that down. If you notice you have more energy, write that down. Keep a piece of paper. And for that first month, every change you notice, no matter how minor you think it is, write it down. Because that's building your story. Your story doesn't have to be, I lost 100 pounds. Anything you feel different, write it down. And they'll go, oh, okay, because you're creating your story.
Right.
And if it's someone who's my level 2 or my level 3, we do a 3-way or a 4-way call, depending, with them and their sponsor. We always do that within the first week or 2. Mm-hmm. And then I always have them watch my YouTube video on getting started on the products. I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you could add that to the jewel from the jewels too.
Sure.
So,
yes, let me write that down.
We have the 2 now, the sugar one, and then that one was good. And then maybe you could put the link for Joseph's Bakery on there.
I sure will.
That would be awesome, because then we have that resource for everybody.
I sure will.
Yay.
They have a Facebook page, and I'm pretty sure you can do, I think there's a store locator on the Facebook page, so I'll post that in there also.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anybody else have a question for her? We have about 3 more minutes. We want to use every little minute we have with Erin. Now, Erin, my question is, do you have anywhere like a food, like ideas for food, like a food diary, not a diary, but a regimen, like a meal plan or anything?
No. I'll tell you why I don't have a meal plan, because then it becomes a diet.
Yeah, I don't want to diet, but like ideas then. Ideas for people.
Yes, I do. I have a whole list of videos. Well, I need to just send you the whole playlist. One talks about breakfast.
Yeah.
One talks about sugar and carbs. One talks about, I'll just send you the whole playlist.
Yeah, that'd be good.
12 videos. Because I want people to learn to make good choices.
Yes.
And not be on a diet, because diets don't work.
No.
If I just naturally know, well, I better not eat that bagel because that bagel is going to turn to pure sugar,
right,
then that's better than me giving you a food plan that doesn't include the bagel, if that makes sense.
No, it really does. And I feel like, too, as golds and above, we really need to be an example. And so we need to, they need to see changes in us, and they need to see, we need to be able to know this knowledge like you're teaching us, so that we can share with our customers and our team, so we can all be health-minded. Stephanie is asking, what do you do to get more engagement on your team page?
I try to, every day, I put a different product on there, and we feature a product, and I'll say, okay, guys, I want to hear your stories about this product, because there's always newbies coming in. And so my veterans will go on there and comment. I will also try and post different questions about, hey, comment here how you avoided all the chocolate for Valentine's Day. Let's hear what you did. We did a big thing at Halloween about not giving out candy. I try to every day have a question where they are asked to answer a question about the product, about nutrition, and about the business. And then my husband does a devotion that he puts in there every day. My husband's a chaplain and for hospice. And so he'll put a devotion in there. And if I see an interesting article about about sugar or about network marketing, I'll put an article in there. I always post the Diamond documentary, and I tell people, hey, watch this, and then let me hear it. Then tell me your thoughts. I ask them for their thoughts. I will post something product related and say, watch this and tell me your thoughts, to try and get them talking. Now, in the beginning, I might have 4 or 5 responses. It didn't happen overnight. It took some time, and I would be like, oh my gosh, they hate me, they're not commenting. But it just takes a while to get people comfortable sharing and engaging. And now my team members are posting things and people are engaging, and it's a lot of fun. And you just have to let it grow. It'll start off small, but let it develop. And if you ask a question, and something else that you can do, in the very beginning, what I did was I went to my key leaders and I said, here's what I'm going to start doing. I want you guys to set the example. I'm going to post a question, you go answer. Yeah. And so then they saw other people answering, and then more people would answer, and then more people. And so I utilized my, 5 or 6 key leaders to kind of get the ball rolling.
That's what I do. I always try to go in my group chat and ask them, guys, go in there and because then plus the other people on our team get to know you as leaders, and they see your names and they're like, oh, wow, okay. And then they can use you too, for different things. So I think that's a good idea. Okay, Maureen, one more question is asking, for those who are not nutritionalists and feel they are not adequate to speak that way, would you send them somewhere instead of trying to explain it yourself?
This is a way to keep it really simple. Yes. You don't have to be a nutritionist to do this, okay? Right. If you understand that sugar is the problem,
right,
and you understand that carbohydrates turn to sugar, it's all you need to know. Bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, those things. It's easy to remember carbs and sugar. Look for that in someone's food plan. Always tell people, now you want to avoid the carbs and sugar. If that's going to be hard for you, let's get you on block from day one.
Right.
You don't have to be a nutritionist to do that. You don't have to go into the science of, why the block works, because your saliva secretes amylase and it's an enzyme, and you don't have to do any of that. Nobody on my team is a nutritionist, but they know enough to go, sugar and carbs. Oh, Susie, I'm going to tell you why you're not losing, because you're eating a half a cup of rice at every meal. That's turned into sugar. Or you're starting your morning off with cereal. If you just watch my breakfast video and my sugar and carb video, I think you would have enough to be able to help your people know to look for sugar and carbs. They need to be getting a lot of protein and fiber. They need to be eating things that God created. Plants, meat, fruits and vegetables, a lot of vegetables, lots of good veggies, lots of green stuff, and things like that.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, it looks like one more and then we'll be done, I promise. What do you hook your customers up with to keep them educated and plugged in?
For customers, we usually have them watch the Getting Started on the Products video that I made, the importance of consistency. I have a video about being consistent, and we talk to them about how they need to change their eating habits, and we set up realistic expectations. And I should have mentioned that earlier. Anytime we sign up an ambassador or customer, where we make it very clear that this is not a quick fix, we ask people to commit to either 60 or 90 days with us, period. Because it's not an overnight fix. I have people who didn't lose a pound or see changes for almost 2 months. And now she lost 8 pounds. She's off her diabetes med. So I ask people, this isn't one of those quick fix scams. This is getting your body balanced from the inside out and changing your lifestyle. So I need you to give me 60 to 90 days. So I set that expectation for customers that it's not a quick thing. And I talk to them about nutrition, and I talk to them about consistency. We don't really plug in customers to a lot. If we get a good article about nutrition or something like that, I have some people who will send that to their customers. I have one girl who is so organized that she has a text system where she texts her customers at a certain time every day. Hey, do you remember to take your products? Different people do different things. I'm not quite that organized. So I just try to get them started off well and touch base with them once or twice a month.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Oh my word, I love this. I just love how God like orchestrates every one of these things, because I don't tell anybody what to talk or anything, and then it just kind of goes what we need to hear each week, and every single one is different, and we learn so many neat things from everybody. And I'm just blessed, Erin, to learn all about the sugar and carbs thing, and just all your information you shared today was amazing. And we really, all of us, look forward to watching all your videos. And thank you for that bread, because I'm going to get some of that.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and we'll be praying for you tomorrow with your surgery.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me. And I promise, before I have to run out to a meeting, but as soon as I get back, I will have you those videos before I go to bed tonight.
That's whenever. Perfect. Thank you again so much. Everybody, really quick and say thank you to her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.